What's up, everybody? Swamp Trog back at it. Arter Ram. Tonight we're gonna be talking about the frontside tail stall. Tricks you're gonna need to know: frontside kick turn, frontside slasher, frontside pivot, frontside axle stall, frontside disaster. Those will allow you to get this frontside tail stall. Let's advance into some more intermediate ramp riding. Let's go. This is amazing. I got B. Williams out here helping me out, film the Arter Ramp. Why don't you pan around this place, take a look around for everybody out there who hasn't seen the country's largest outdoor skate park. Quite diversity in riders out here. Action sports, equipment, a little bit of everything. We're finding a nice quiet spot here. There's a snake run right here, a mini ramp in between. This is perfect for talking about intermediate ramp riding. We're talking about harder tricks again. You know, the front pivot, the frontside disaster, those are all very difficult tricks. And the front tail is gonna have a little added challenge as well. Doing that full 180, jabbing that tail into the stall and dropping back in without over rotating and letting your upper body continue to rotate. So a lot of core strength for these intermediate ramp tricks. Nothing's different than what we've been talking about recently. Let's get to it. There's a couple things that make the front tail, besides the formation of the trick, a little bit more difficult. Here's some skateboard hacks to help you on your way. All right, so let's talk about the front foot. I'm back here in this high power I've been talking about. I'm talking about the heartbeat. My front foot is back behind the bolts, and you're gonna notice a significant amount of my toe hanging over the edge of that rail. All right, that's so when I come up, straight up or at a slight angle, and I start my upper body, do that 180 and jab that tail stall in, that's so my front foot, when I actually come out of that, is probably more or less in a riding stance. So the reason we hang our toes over, skateboard hack number one on this front tail, is to land back in riding stance. All right, so practice that, you guys. Those toes hanging over the front are gonna be so incredibly helpful on this front tail. Back foot, gonna be back on the pocket. All right, I'm actually gonna have my toes back on the board all the way. No tips of the toes hanging over the edge. I'm a little bit back. And that's also gonna counter my push. I'm pushing with my heel. Remember, frontside at its very finest, at the complete core of it, is a frontside turn on the heel. So I'm gonna be leaning back on that heel. My foot tendency is to push forward like that. So that's why I compensate for that foot placement right there. So I'm approaching. As I'm approaching, I'm sinking down. As I'm going up for that front side, just like a frontside disaster, I'm dipping my shoulder in, starting that pre-rotation, coming up the ramp, starting that upper body twist. And right there, under the coping, we're gonna get down on the ramp and talk about that next. But just unlike the disaster, I'm gonna wait for it, go off the coping, bonk, scoop in. I'm gonna do this just a little bit earlier. So definitely check out this link up here somewhere, and check out that frontside disaster, all right, on the timing. This is just gonna be early. We just learned backside tail stall. It was literally the same thing, all right? Okay, guys, talking about the approach of this frontside tail. Again, I always like to find a line. A great line in the concrete right here is gonna help us keep just on track with where we're going. So I'm coming up. I'm probably gonna be coming up at a slight angle, dropping right across the line. I don't want to come off that line too much, but I'm gonna come off a slight angle right there. And right here, as I lift up, that's where I'm gonna start my scoop up early into this tail stall. And again, just like that back tail, it is just earlier than the disaster. So again, you're gonna have that frontside disaster. It's a little bit more forgiving, a lot more area for error, we'll just say, on that frontside disaster. So make sure when you're learning frontside tail stalls, you have that frontside disaster dialed in. Yeah. So, again, coming up, remember your foot position here. Come on in close, B. Stay close with me here so we don't get run over. Toes are gonna be hanging over that rail. Back foot's gonna be pushing. Again, I'm regular footed, so that if you're goofy, it'll be the opposite. Come up, right here, lift up, start that upper body crank. And really what I'm gonna do, eventually I'll learn to scoop up into it, but I'm just gonna push and power right up into a slasher. So once you have that slasher, it's just a little earlier than that. Okay, so disaster is late, bonk the wheels, crank it. Slasher is stay in the ramp, right to truck. Front tail is before scoop up and over. Now let's jump up here and talk a little bit more about coming in on the frontside tail stall. All right, so we just came out of the frontside tail stall. We came up the ramp, we opened up our arms, we cranked over the tail stall. Our upper body is we're gonna try to keep our upper body parallel with that coping. And again, I've talked about in the back tail and all the disasters, you have to stop that upper body with that core so you don't over rotate and keep going in revert, all right? So front tail revert, all you do is let that arm continue to rotate front side, all right? So how do you do that? Again, you're activating that core, you're down, you're dropping your arm in, you're opening up front side, you're letting the lower body crank the 180, and you're just doing your best to keep your upper body in that place. Let's rip a couple out right here from a few different angles, slow things down. That's the art of ram, you guys. I hope this front tail helps you out. We'll get a couple of bailout patterns, maybe, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about this one today, but let's see what happens, all right? Thanks for watching, subscribe below, and we'll see you soon. Just like all bailout patterns, you guys, when we're talking about, try to get to that step and slide. Okay, so as you're out here and you're learning these brand new tricks, practice those bailouts. Be keen with how to get into that step and slide. Be aware of how your body's moving, the direction it's going, and how you can step off. All right, and of course, look alive while you're out there at your local skate park. We're riding this mini ramp in the middle of a snake run. Not a lot of people are riding it. It seems pretty safe. But we're also looking out for everybody else's session out there. That's just skate park etiquette. Leaning forward is so important. As I'm approaching these tricks, all these intermediate tricks, and really any trick going forward, I am putting a lot of pressure on that front foot. So you do that too. Let me know how that's working for you. If you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment so we can define and break down anything that you're struggling with a little bit there, because we want to have this be 3 tries, not 300, remember. All right, let's keep moving. Get these kids some helmets, Des Moines. I definitely don't want to fall on concrete. The timing. This is just going to be early. We just learned backside tail stall. It was literally the same thing. All right.